wanted to share a little bit more about As Required because I feel like it's going to become a bigger part of my life in the next year. I started As Required in 2019, and this was well before I was ready to go on my own and work entirely full-time for myself. And at that time, I had actually just spoken to someone who I consider a mentor. Her name is Puno, and she helped talk me through what a path looked like for me to go on my own and not rely on another company for my full-time work. And at that time, I eventually knew that I wanted to create my own company, take my own clients, and do all that on my own. So about 2 years after starting the LLC and doing just really small side projects here and there, I decided to go headfirst and quit my full-time job and just pursue working for myself and clients full-time. In that year, I did pretty well. I worked for almost 25 plus clients in that first year, and I made over 6 figures. But I realized in working for a bunch of different clients, a bunch of different personalities, and for contract level work, which usually is just surface level problems, so you never really get deep into the weeds of any problems, I realized that I didn't really like doing that style of work and then also working for so many different people at once. For that reason, I ended up going back into looking at full-time work and keeping As Required to more of my little side projects that I was actually defining the vision for and the approach for and following my own strategy versus servicing other people's products and ideas and visions. Where I'm at right now is, as you know, I no longer have a full-time job, and I've been looking to get into another full-time job. But for the stuff that I'm working on for As Required, I've basically ended all of my contracts, and now I'm shifting to focusing on building my own apps, my own products, and seeing where that goes. Right now, as of a few months ago, I launched my own app, which is called the Athletics Department. I've mentioned it before, but I haven't really shared more about that, but I will, hopefully in the future. And then the other project that I'm working on is Nominee, which I also spoke about in the last vlog. So these projects where they're my own visions, my own products, stuff that I'm defining, that's what I now consider a majority of the work that I'm doing for As Required. And through this vlog, I'm going to be sharing a little bit more under the hood of what I'm building. If I do not find another full-time job, I'm going to be looking at taking on more client work, freelance. That type of stuff I won't be able to share more about under the hood about what's happening, but for my own apps like the Athletics Department and Nominee, I will be able to share more behind the scenes of what the day-to-day of that looks like, and I will be doing a little bit of that in this vlog. So I am now in the second week of this 2-week sprint that I've been doing, trying to build out the MVP of this mentorship platform for Nominee. And I wanted to answer a question that I get a lot when it comes to building this part of our platform out. And it's actually a question that I've gotten from my co-founders ever since we began thinking about this idea of running this mentorship platform. And it's, why not use software that's already out there, that's already built? There's tons of software out there that's built to facilitate mentorship. Even on our learning platform, there's a lot of software out there that allows people to create courses and sell it to other people. And the truth is that we did try a bunch of different pieces of software. And me being the CTO, after doing a bunch of those pilots, testing software out, I was the one that decided that it wouldn't really do the job for what we were trying to do. And there's a few reasons for that. Number one, I think as we were testing out a lot of these pieces of software, they come with all of these additional features because these companies are trying to build a lot of features, hoping that one of them sticks for different people to get the most amount of users on it. And when it comes to what we're trying to do, a lot of those additional features that we don't need that these platforms come with ended up distracting from what we were actually trying to do and made our product super confusing. The other thing is that some of the pieces of software that we actually did really like very early on in our startup's life, they're sort of really expensive. Some of the products that we were looking at were on the order of paying up to $99 per user on the platform. So if you think about it, you already have 5 people and you're paying $500 a month. And that kind of cost, especially early on when you're just trying to pilot out an idea, is just a non-starter. The other thing too that I noticed, because I actually looked up a lot of the pieces of software just recently before I recorded this video to see what was happening with them. And when you do use another piece of software as a critical part of your company's business, those other companies will have their own goals, they'll have their own roadmaps, they may also have their own pivots as well. And in the past year, with the advent of AI, and then also a lot of these companies are really trying to raise money and prove to investors that they have a lot of users, those are reasons why they might pivot and change the product. And a lot of the products that we tested 2 or 3 years ago, I looked at them now and they're a lot different than they were. And they're no longer focused on just creating learning and courses or even mentorship and facilitating sessions with people. They've grown into these like big SaaS companies that want to try and do everything, and then, you know, trying to integrate AI and giving people all of these tools to run their business. And they're no longer just a course management platform or a mentorship platform. Along with the bloat that they already had when we tested them out, they now have all of these additional features, or they've dramatically shifted the focus of what the product is doing for their users. And that direction that they take might not be the direction that we want to take, but then now if we're on that platform and we're relying heavily on that for our product, we just have to go along with it. And for all those reasons, that's why I decided that if we're going to do this, we need to be able to have a lot of control in the way that we build it, because for politicians, we want to do it a specific way, and there are certain things with the politicians where you want to protect their contact information and things like that for potential abuse from some of the users, and some of these platforms fell short on that. Another reason is that some of these startups, there's a possibility that they may get acquired or even shuttered from people or from not succeeding. And when that happens, if you've invested a lot of energy putting things and using that platform, you're going to lose all that if they end up getting acquired and the person who acquires them shuts them down. For example, there was a product that I really liked called Super Peer that I was like, oh, this is exactly the type of thing that we need to be doing. They actually got acquired by Skillshare and it no longer exists. Skillshare shut it down. And if we used a product like that or heavily depended on it and that happened, that would have been just like terminal for our company. But I'm happy that I waited. I think when it comes to building this platform, I'm not doing anything super innovative with the code. I feel like if you look at what I'm building, it's like, oh, there's people who do this here, here, and here. But to be able to code it in a way that is directly what our users are looking for and like avoids all of the distractions and all the noise of all these additional features that they don't need, will have a lot more strength and power. And if we own that code, we protect ourselves from, you know, something happening to our infrastructure that would end up just crushing our business and us having to start from scratch again. So I just wanted to shed some light on why I'm doing this, and also it's not like, you know, some crazy new piece of code like that doesn't exist yet, but I'm able to basically shape the experience of this thing to react very quickly to feedback and things that our users are looking for and also looking to do.
It does look like a toupee. It does look like a toupee.
So if that happens, I think it's a good thing, because for example, if there's people who aren't engaged, like as a mentor or mentee, I think that gives us ideas of like, okay, we need to build a feature or something to bring people back to stay engaged with the platform. So just understanding, I think in these like first few months of rolling it out, I think that type of feedback and seeing those things happen is actually a really, really good thing, because it'll inform like how we grow the platform or like what additional features that we add to like make those feel a little bit better versus people having negative experiences. So I wanted to give an update on that last project that I started in the previous vlog, what that was all about. But there was a cabinet that I was drilling a hole into the back of, and this is that cabinet. And it sits here at the front door of our office, and we're using it as a charging station. So any devices that we need to charge, it goes here. The wires are plugged into the outlet, and there's an outlet right behind here, right back here, that things could easily charge at. But what we were doing before was all the devices that we were charging were living on top of this cabinet, and it was just a mess of wires and devices on top of each other charging, and it was just a visual clutter mess, and it was really bothering me. So the plan always was to have it so that any devices that we want to charge will just get tucked away in one of these cubbies so it's out of view and doesn't like look so chaotic and messy. But it's taken me a while to do that. So what I did, and this is a mess back here, which is supposed to be because it's hidden, but I drilled a hole into the back of this cabinet so that we could put all different wire types back here that are connected to the outlet. And anytime we need to charge a device, it'll just go into this top cubby. And the mess could live in this top cubby, but at least it is out of view and you don't get to see all those crazy wires and stuff all over the place. So I was hesitating to share this because I feel like it might be a little bit embarrassing, but earlier in the week I did some meal prep and I made a whole bunch of taco meat. So this is ground turkey with taco seasoning, and then I threw in some corns and beans in there, so it's all mixed in already, all the stuff that needed to be cooked. And I had this like huge bowl that could pretty much last me lunches for the entire week. So all I have to do is just scoop some of this out, put it into a bowl, and then heat it up. And then all I really need to do is just like throw on some pico, some cheese. I have rice here, some overripe avocado, and some sour cream. And I essentially have my own Chipotle bowl. This reminds me of a video that Good Work just put out all about slot bowls and how like workers in New York resort to the slot bowl because it's such an easy meal.
These fast casual dishes are the go-to meals for Urbanite employees as they embark on their cute little lunch breaks.
I feel like when I'm in this like monk mode or like coding like kind of dungeon, this is the easiest meal to just put together and throw together and just have like a slot bowl, and it tastes exactly like Chipotle. I actually really enjoy eating these and very easy to make, and also healthy because I controlled all the ingredients. So at this point of what I'm building, I still don't feel comfortable like literally sharing you what the actual product looks like so far in terms of what I'm building, because right now it's super incomplete. I'm trying to target an internal beta by next week, and then we are going to have a closed beta with some people outside of the organization starting February 1st. Still in that time, I feel like I won't be too comfortable yet sharing like screenshots and like a demo of what I'm working on, but that'll come in March 1st when we do get to the public beta. So in the meantime, what I can share with you is the roadmap of what I've been working on and what part of the process that I'm coding right now. So just to give you some context, I said I'm working on a 2-week sprint, and this is the second week of that. Basically where I started out for the whole beginning part of this was working on an admin platform. So today our platform is using something called MemberSpace to basically take all the payments and control access. With this new mentorship platform, I'm actually building our entire admin interface and user accounts and control from scratch. So I actually spent the better part of last week setting up that whole system, and that comes with things like organizations and group management and things like that that Memberspace doesn't have that we need, because we have a few organizations with over 100 people on it and their accounts are managed by like their org admin. So I spent the first week building all that stuff out because you need the user accounts in order to be able to use the mentorship platform. So I built the basics of that out, and this week I actually started working on profiles. So I built profile pages and how people edit it, and then also being able to publish it and, you know, doing the whole percent complete to make sure that people fill out their profiles. And I also built out connections. So when you're on the platform, you're browsing mentors and you want to connect with someone, what does that process look like to make a request and then having the mentor accept it or reject it? I built that whole piece out. The part that I'm up to now is the connection page. So when you do pair up with a mentor and they accept that mentorship with you, you'll have this whole experience where you and your mentor could interact with each other. So there's a few features in there, including messaging, the settings of that, and also marking your availability, and then also sessions. So sessions are going to be a big part of this, where you could set up like video calls with your mentor, and how does that all look and all the features related to that. And the very last piece that I'm targeting, at least for this February 1st and March 1st launch, is an Ask Anything section. So in this section, it's almost like Quora, where anybody could come in and ask a question and only mentors can answer it, and any mentor on the platform can answer the question if they have expertise in it, but this sort of forum style section. So that's what I'm jamming away at right now. I'm hoping that I could get all of these features done by February 1st, as I mentioned, but maybe earlier than that, because we are going to have an internal beta before we do the closed beta.